Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. It's a beautiful day, and I am, of course, waiting to get into my office, but I thought I'd share this with you. I'm listening to a podcast about just unlocking your success and the code that's in all of us. And one thing really resonated with me in today's lesson, I guess. And there was one thing that the podcast, so the podcast was done by Ed Mylett. So if you listen to podcasts, great speaker, a lot of takeaways from what he talks about. But this is the second time I'm listening to it. And there's one point where he talks about the reason. So it's not just about having goals, writing them down, but it's also about the reasons why we have the goals we have. And he really gives a great example of when he determined what his why was. And the goal was to get in better shape, to get healthier. But the reason why wasn't your typical, I want to look good, I want to feel good. It had a lot to do with, in order for him to be healthier, that would mean that he'd have a longer life with his kids, who he wanted, obviously, to see great milestones. And so he talked about when he decided to go get his heart scanned, and because of a death in a family, and the doctor, instead of just giving him information about what his scan looked like and what he should be doing, here's the information, you should probably not eat this, you should probably go to the gym and work out more, just as a lot of doctors tell us. Instead, the doctor pointed out, your daughter, what do you, I bet you, this daughter that's going to be coming. So he didn't even have his daughter yet. His wife was pregnant at the time, but he was expecting a girl. And, I bet you this girl's going to be pretty special. This daughter's going to be pretty special. Yeah, bet you can't wait to walk her down the aisle. And, of course, telling a father this about walking his daughter down the aisle is pretty special. And the doctor just blatantly said, well, you're not going to be able to do that. And then even talked about, your son, I bet you're pretty proud of your son. And, he is pretty proud of his son. And his son was, his pride and joy. I bet you want to see him graduate. Yeah, you're not going to do this. And know that house that you worked really hard for. And the big house that you have, yeah. How would you feel about, another man eating breakfast in the same house that you worked really hard for in a few years' time? And basically giving him the reason as to why he should get healthier, why he should start working out, why he should stop eating what he was eating. And that really resonated with me because it got me to realize why I say certain things, why I do things at work, why it means so much to me that my team at work gives the best possible service to each and every client that visits us. And it's not because, obviously, I'm prideful of my work, because of course I am, and I want to be proud of my team and their accomplishments. But really it came down to something that I realized a few years ago. And this is something that is very personal to me, but when I think back to my childhood, I realize how hard both my parents worked for us. And I remember when I was growing up, we had this big house in this nice neighborhood, and it's how I remember my childhood. And I remember this house being huge and how, awesome it was. And everyone knew about this big house because it was just on the corner, and it was literally steps away from the school we went to. And then one day, we had to leave. There was a question about, we might have to go move to the Philippines, or we might have to go move to the States. And I remember being super sad because I was in junior high, and that's when you come into yourself. And I was in junior high, and I was sad because I'd have to leave my friends. We ended up not leaving, obviously, because I'm still here. But it was because my parents had to sell our house, or had to get rid of our house. And this is in the late 80s. And coming into the banking system or the financial industry now, I realized why. I realized that back in the day, I think there were problems with the economy. There were problems with financially. And you know what? My parents just had twins they didn't anticipate. So there was an extra cost of, double the kids. And so I was, when I started to reflect on why I had to move from that big house to a much smaller house, actually it was a townhouse. And now being an adult, I realized that my parents coming to Canada never got the direction from their financial institution at the time. And I'm not trying to blame the financial institution. I think everyone has to take ownership for where they came from and where they're going. But coming to a new country without any kind of knowledge with how things work, and of course back then maybe it wasn't so prevalent in how we give advice. It's a lot more prevalent now. But we owe it so being part of the financial industry, we owe it to people who come to us to give them the kind of, advice that we would give our own family members. You know what I mean? Well, I guess I shouldn't say that because some people don't like giving family members advice. But anyways, your own kids, right? Like, I remember getting my first credit card and my mom kept telling me about how you shouldn't get a credit card. You need to pay it. You need to pay it. You need to pay it. And like, that's great. That was good way of telling me not to get a credit card, but it didn't work. I still used a credit card. I remember maxing it out. I remember not paying it on time, not realizing the reason for a credit card, not realizing the impact to my credit on this credit card. Now, I'm probably telling you a lot of personal information, but I got to put it out there. We were all young and stupid at one time. I remember when I joined the bank, I couldn't get their credit card. So even though I was an employee, because I had damaged my credit history, because I was stupid, and no one had told me. Okay, and again, I'm going to take ownership for not wanting or not getting the information I needed in front of me. But why would anyone ask to find out, like, I'm flabbergasted when I have young people ask me, how can I get a great credit rating? Somewhere down the line they had heard from somebody else that it was important to keep up your credit. But very rare. Nobody really asks actually until their credit is damaged how to better their credit rating. So these are the kinds of things we need to know. And so when I think about my why as to why I have a different perspective in how I want my team to help our clients, that's the reason. The reason is I want people to have a really good start when it comes to finances. I want to start them young. But you know what? Those people who already have finances, like a mortgage, like, registered savings plans, anything, credit cards, accounts, they need to know the overall picture and how it will impact them in the future if they don't A, change anything, or B, get rid of things. Too many people out there do not have the knowledge, and I think they should. It's like driving a car. So we all have cars, right? Well, if you don't get your regular tune-up or your regular oil change, what happens to the car? Right? What happens to the car? Well, the car over time will not last, right? And you will damage your car and then eventually have expenses that are a lot more than just an oil change. If you had just upkept your car or kept up with your car maintenance, you wouldn't have that kind of thing. Same thing with health, same thing with your finances, right? And so that was my why. My why was so personal that I really wanted to make sure that there were people out there who were taken care of and, had their reasons realized, right? We all have reasons. We want to provide for our families, give them the home, the life that they want, and want to be there for them, right? Well, how can you do that if you can't take care of yourself? And so it's up to us in these industries to help people who come to us. We don't just sell products in the financial industry. We are here to help. And so that was my takeaway from my lesson today on the way home or on the way to work. And I wanted to share with you, you guys all have your own whys for for the goals you have made for yourself, dig deeper. Dig deeper for the actual whys. It's not just enough to have goals and to write them down and to look at them every day. Think deeper as to really why you have these goals. Because I betcha if you have these reasons and you really dig deep, they're not going to be what you thought. And you know what? You'll probably reach your goals a lot faster if you really realize what the reasons were. Okay, so anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your week, guys. Beautiful day, like I said, still the beginning of the week, and I hope you kill it. And I am here. I got you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.